Yeah, this free agency frenzy isn't so good. Alright guys, welcome back in. Before we get started, definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content on the road to 12K, ladies and gentlemen. Also follow me on all my social platforms if you want to get the news a lot faster. Obviously, it takes some time to make these videos, so definitely go ahead and follow me on all my social platforms. Everything will be in the description of this video. Alright, let's go ahead and dive right into it here. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals recap after day one of free agency frenzy. And let me tell you one, this is far from a frenzy from the Arizona Cardinals in the organization just in general. Now, the Arizona Cardinals made one move. That's right, one move. Let me say it for the people in the back. One move today. And we ended up bringing back Kelvin Beachum to a 2-year deal. Now, honestly, this is good. I don't think there's any bad to say about this. Now, I'm actually very surprised that Kelvin Beachum has signed pen to paper right to the Arizona Cardinals, especially with that big news that ended up coming out. And I know Kelvin Beachum got a lot of flack, especially from all those Kyler Murray fans that are like, they feel like Kyler Murray can't do any wrong. I know Kelvin Beachum got a lot of flack from that. So I'm very surprised that he is coming back for 2 more years to be the right tackle of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I'm not mad at it, honestly, right? Kudos to him. I'm excited to see how he's going to turn out. He probably was the most consistent, right? The most consistent offensive lineman we had in the 2022 season. Now, that's not saying a lot. It really isn't. Our center was a swing. We had some struggles in the left tackle. Our guards were just turnstiles. So, being that Kelvin Beachum was one of the bright spots, I guess it's definitely a win for him, and I'm glad he's coming back as an Arizona Cardinal. I just hope that's not a long-term solution, and they have a plan for a long-term solution, because let's be honest, Kelvin Beachum is a 2-year rental. I'm hoping just one until we can figure out what we're going to do in this year's draft. Now, that's the extent of what has happened for the Arizona Cardinals, and I know there's some fans out there that are like, well, don't panic, it's day one, it's not a big deal. Now, I specifically remember last year with the Arizona Cardinals panicking the same way this kind of happened. After day one, I'm like, what's going on? What's happening with the Arizona Cardinals? Now, obviously, different situation there. The Arizona Cardinals were an 11-win, team at that point. Now, granted, I wasn't buying into the Kool-Aid that the Arizona Cardinals were going to run it back. I felt like we actually needed help to go into this 2022 season, but of course, there was fans that believed what they wanted to believe. And now we're kind of in the same situation. Now, I get it, different circumstances. Now we're kind of going into a rebuild mode, some might say, and I do believe that to an extent, right? Now, the NFL rebuild years are different than the MLB, different than the NBA. We've seen teams had a terrible year and bounce back the year after. We've seen it, right? We've seen it plenty of times. Now, it would be foolish to say last year was our rebuild, because let's be honest, Keim completely destroyed this roster. We knew it from, or at least I knew it from the beginning. I never wanted him, these last 3 or 4 years. I wanted him gone. I'm so glad he is. But the Arizona Cardinals lost the ability to bring a young piece back to the Arizona Cardinal organization. Now, I'm already assuming that most of you guys already know that Zach Allen has signed with the Denver Broncos. If you guys don't know, spoiler alert, here it is. Zach Allen signed with the Denver Broncos. There was a report that came out from Adam Schefter, and it also gives us his details from his contract, and this is exactly what it says. Former Cardinals defensive end Zach Allen reached an agreement on a 3-year deal, $45.75 million deal that includes $32.5 million guaranteed at signing with the Broncos, per source. Allen is reunited with Denver defensive coordinator Vance Joseph. So the way that I'm understanding this contract, 3-year deal, $45.75 mil, you essentially are going to say $15 million for a defensive end is what we're saying for a player like Zach Allen. Now, Zach Allen was the bright spot outside are, outside JJ Watt, right? The veteran that ended up retiring this last year. He was the bright spot for the Arizona Cardinals. Had 5.5 sacks in the 2022 season. His career, 11.5 sacks. Now, granted, when he was drafted to the Arizona Cardinals back in 2019 in the third round, he started with Steve Wilkes. He started within that era. He's the same draft class that ended up coming from when we ended up drafting Kyler Murray, and we kind of all know the history. Now, yes, Zach Allen really had a good year this last year, and some might say it's because of JJ Watt and him, mentoring him and showing him all the tips and tricks and what he could do, and it worked out well for Zach Allen. But now we're here in a situation where the Arizona Cardinals had an opportunity to bring back a young staple point, and they didn't do it. $15 million is what Zach Allen was going for. Javon Hargrave went today to the San Francisco 49ers. That just gives me, a lot of anger on its own. Got more than Zach Allen. Now, Aaron Donald is obviously the creme de la creme. I think he's the highest paid defensive lineman out there. I think he's getting upwards of $30 million. There's no way in heck Zach Allen is going to get that amount. But it seems like, for the most part, if you have a name, you're going to get paid somewhere around the $20 million range for a defensive lineman. Zach Allen got $5 million less per year, and we have fans out there saying that the Cardinals weren't going to bring him back because he's too much. Wait, what? Literally 24 hours ago, before this all went down, people wanted to bring back Zach Allen. I still wanted to bring back Zach Allen. The moment that this news dropped, I knew that this is a huge L for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, $15 million to you, to me, it's a lot of money. It absolutely is. To players that were drafted in 2019 and you're a defensive end and you're coming off a year like a 5.5 sack season and got mentored by JJ Watt is what the market entails. Now, I went ahead and said this plenty of times. Zach Allen was not going to go and give us a hometown discount, and he shouldn't. He shouldn't give us a hometown discount. This is his opportunity to rake in as much money as he possibly can, because this is probably his contract year that he's able to do so. He's 25 years old, and this is the time that he's going to be able to do so. Now, the frustration level coming from me as a fan, $15 million for a defensive end that could be a very good staple point, and the Arizona Cardinals went ahead and whiffed on it. I think not bringing back Zach Allen was a mistake. Truly. This almost feels the same as Hassan Reddick, because most Cardinal fans were saying the exact same thing. We weren't going to pay him. Now, granted, I was in that kind of the same boat. I'm one to admit my faults as well. I didn't want to give him a long-term deal, but I wanted to franchise tag Hassan Reddick. Cardinals didn't do it. This also feels a little like Calais Campbell. Now, Calais Campbell had more bumps and bruises. Calais Campbell had a lot more to prove. I agree with that. But Zach Allen, to me, could have been the guy that we wouldn't have to worry about now filling a void in that section. Now, being that we are already exiting the end of free agency frenzy day one, if $15 million is too much for the Arizona Cardinals to attain, then say goodbye to Byron Murphy, ladies and gentlemen. Say goodbye to Byron Murphy. Because this seems to be what is okay. So fans are saying, this is okay. He's too much. He's too expensive. This is what the market entails, ladies and gentlemen. You got a person that can ball, you pay him. It's what it is. To me, right now that we waited as long as we did, I had a feeling that we weren't going to bring back Zach Allen. Now, going into day two, I don't think Byron Murphy is coming back as an Arizona Cardinal either. This was the only real thing I wanted the Arizona Cardinals to do. 3 players I wanted back. Greg Dortch, we got back. Great, awesome, excited. Zach Allen, Byron Murphy. This seems really unattainable that the Arizona Cardinals are going to go after Byron Murphy now because $15 million is too expensive. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Absolutely embarrassing. We are in rebuild mode. Doesn't mean we got to stop getting talent, right? We're hearing these media people out here saying, well, this is what we expected the Arizona Cardinals to do. They're in rebuild mode. So we're tanking? Is done? We're setting Kyler Murray up to fail? Because let's be honest, we got about 30%, 40% of the fan base that wants Kyler out. You give him one more year and he fails because you didn't want to do anything in free agency? Okay. Says a lot about the organization not setting Kyler Murray up for success, bringing back big focal pieces like a Zach Allen. Now, as of right now, TBD on Byron Murphy. But if Byron Murphy does go away, that's going to leave us with one real starter. And I'm using that term very, very loosely, starter. And that's Marco Wilson, ladies and gentlemen. The Arizona Cardinals right now, I'm only hoping that the rest of free agency works out. But the idea of getting bottom of the barrel type of players, it just doesn't sit right with me. I wasn't expecting to go big name, big name, big name, big name. No, I wasn't at all. But to retain talent, I feel like that's something the Arizona Cardinals could have and should have done. Let me know what your guys' thoughts about Zach Allen no longer being a member of the Arizona Cardinals. Let me know in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, have a great rest of your day and go Cards.